So this is how to make a GNOME Shell extension in GNOME 45 or 46 or any recent version. So first we're going to make a directory here. We're going to call it our extension name. So let's call it cool ext at a domain you control. So we're going to do penguin-teal.github.io. So we made that directory. Now we're going to make a file in it called metadata.json. We're going to make another file called extension.js. So in this metadata.json, we're going to put curly braces inside of them. We're going to put quote UUID quote, and then we're going to put in here, we're going to put what we called that directory. We're going to type cool-ext at penguin-teal.github.io. Our next thing is our name, and so this should be like that, cool ext. Our description, this explains what it does. The super cool example extension. The next thing we have is our shell version. This is which versions of GNOME we support, and so I'm going to say we support GNOME 45 and 46. Next thing we have is our URL. So this is like our website. And so I'm just going to put where the repository would be. And so our version, this one is just a number, and every time we upload to the GNOME extension website, this is going to change for their copy. So we can just make that a number. And our version-name, this is where we can get a little creative. Oops. So we get a little creative. And we can put a string in here, so we can call it 1.0.0. But this version name can be whatever you want. So now in our extension.js file, we are going to put all of this, which I definitely did not paste from the website. So this first line is going to import st. So this is like the clutter widgets library. So we're going to grab the widgets so we can add to that top bar. This extension line is going to grab some stuff about extension information, so this is where we can get like our settings and our metadata from. This next one, our main here, has just a bunch of like functions for the shell. This panel menu is that top bar, so we can add to that top bar. And so we can make a class. We're going to call it cool-ext, and it's going to extend the extension class. So it's going to be inheriting that extension class here. And then we're going to implement the enable method. And this is run when we start our extension, so when we turn it on. So it's going to make a button with our smiley face icon, and it's going to put it up in the panel. And then we're going to log in our console that we turn the extension on. And so this is important then. We have a disable method, and this is going to undo what we did in our panel here. We have to undo everything we did, otherwise it won't undo it by ourselves. So if you turn off the extension and you don't do this, it won't remove all the stuff, so we need to do this. So I also have here, we're just going to log an error, and then the backtrace here. And so this is going to log where we are, like what function we're in. And so this is to show logging and debugging information. So let's save that. Now let's make two more files here. Let's call them install.sh. And so we're going to do shebang slash, so pound bang slash bin slash sh for our shell script. And then we are going to let's make a variable. Let's name it install lock. So this is important. No space between the equals and the word here. So you can see if we do this, this is going to interpret as a command. This is going to make it a variable. So we want to make sure we do that. So let's call it home slash dot local slash share slash GNOME shell slash extensions slash whatever we want to call it. So let's do cool-ext at penguin-teal.github.io. So now let's rm. Oh, that's a lot of L's. rm-rf that. And so the reason I say you have to be careful with the equals is if you didn't do that here, you could delete something that you don't want to. And so let's copy our cool-ext at penguin-teal.github.io. So it's going to copy that directory we have here into that install lock location, and then we can put -r if we had any directories in there to make sure they're copied over, and that's good. And so last file we're going to make is one, so we can test our extension easily. So if we want to test our extension easily, we can do /bang/bin/sh for our shell script, and then we can put this here, and what this does is this is going to start a GNOME. This command here starts a nested GNOME Shell extension, so it's going to create a window that has like our desktop in it. And this tac Wayland, I don't really know what this does because I'm on X11 and I always have this in my script and it works fine, so I don't know what it is. So this env command here, what this does is it runs this command here with an added environment variable. And so the environment variable we're going to add is this mutter debug dummy mode specs. And what this does is it tells mutter, the window manager, what our resolution is going to be. So we're going to make it 1280 by 1024. And so this one's, the reason I chose this one is it's pretty big. So it gives us a nice big window to work with. We can make it smaller if we want to see what it looks like on a smaller screen. And so once we have this stuff, I'm going to go and I'm going to make these executable. And nest test. And so now what we can do is run /install. What did I do? Missing the destination file operand. What? Line 3. What? Extensions / missing destination file operand. Oh, I think I wasn't supposed to put a space here. Oops. So don't put a space there. There. And then we're going to install and run nest test. So okay, now you can see here, and we're going to go and we're going to type extensions, and every window for some reason in this nested shell takes like 15 seconds to open. So I don't know why that is, but if your like extension settings are taking forever to open, it's not something wrong with your extension, don't worry. It just does that for some reason. Okay, so now we're here and we can go to cool extension and turn it on. And you can see we have our smiley face icon up there. We go back to our console. Let me show you that. You can see on the bottom here we have enabled cool-ext. So you might be wondering what all this other spam is up here. There's a lot of it. And what this is is a lot of it when you open an app, a lot of it will spam. So like that was when I opened the extensions app and spammed that. The other thing is sometimes other extensions. So in particular, I think Blur My Shell seems to produce a lot of spam like this. So if you disable other extensions while you're testing, that might be helpful to see what you want. So now I'm going to go into my nested shell and I'm going to disable it. You can see my smiley face went away properly, and if we look at a terminal, you can see we got, this is our error with the critical, which means error, and you can see our backtrace here. And so you can see extension.js 31 in the function or method disable. And then here is a bunch of internal stuff. So the last thing we can do is maybe create a script called make release. And so this can be #bang/bin/h again. And now we're going to do zip, or so let's start off with, let's cd into our cool extension directory. And let's do zip-qr. So we'll zip it into a file called release.zip, and we want to zip up our current directory. And now we can cd out of that if we want. So now sometimes even if you click the X on the window for the nested shell, it will keep running for some reason. My other computer doesn't do this, this one does. I'm not sure why it is, but just spam Control-C and it will stop. And then we can make our make release script executable, and we can run it, and now we have our release.zip, and now we can upload this to the GNOME extensions website. So thank you, I hope this was really helpful for you. Like and subscribe, boys, and have a good day.